let it help us to have a clean heart. God, I pray we'll open our hearts to what He gives. Realize, Lord God, what we've given, Lord, the great gift, Lord Jesus, of forgiveness, Lord God. God, when we make mistakes, Lord God, we want you to forgive us, Lord God. We need your forgiveness. Lord Jesus, we need that kind of person. That we can forgive you and let it go. That feeling, Lord, that's in our heart, Lord Jesus. God, I thank you, Lord Jesus, for what you have done, what you've done in our lives. I pray, God, help us, Lord God, to know forgiveness, Lord Jesus. To show forgiveness, Lord God. And we can forgive our friends, Lord God. We can forgive those who have harmed us, Lord God. God, those who have chosen, Lord God. Give us mistake, Mark. Help us forgive my help us to love like you do, Lord. Lord, you are faithful. Give that forgiveness. Your love is what brought us up. Love brings us to you, Lord. God, that we find forgiveness. God, you, Lord God, that we can show, Lord God. Some of you guys probably don't know this, but I had something in my life that happened, and it was horrible. And by all standards, Sister Morgan, I shouldn't have had to forgive. I had done no wrong. The wrong had been done, actually had been done to my granddaughter. And it tore my household apart, it tore my family apart. And I had such hatred that I wanted to hurt the person that had done it. I mean, I wanted to physically hurt him. I said all that to say this. Over years, the Lord dealt with me. He dealt with me. He dealt with me. I was going to church. I was trying to serve God. I was trying to do what He wanted. But I still had that in the back of my heart. And then finally there came a day where I started praying for forgiveness for this guy. I started asking God to bless his house. You know what? The Bible's right. You're right, brother. He doesn't just ask us to forgive them. He wants us to pray for goodness and blessing upon them. Bless those that spitefully use you. Bless those that have been mean to you. And I'm telling you this because I'm telling you, there was such a weight lifted off of me one day when I stopped just asking God to bless them just because the Bible says to do it. You know, when somebody tells me they love me because they feel like they owe it to me or because they have to, it just doesn't mean anything. But when somebody tells me they love me and I can feel it in their heart, it does something to me. And Brother Lynn, I never forget that day that when I finally decided to just go up to those altars and honestly pray that God would bless those people. And in my heart, I really did forgive them. And you know what happened, Sister Jessica? It was immediately after that the Lord called me back into the ministry. And I stand up here in front of a church full of people. And there was a church full this morning. And I realized that none of that would have happened if I had not finally forgiven who I needed to forgive. I said that you can't do all that God's got planned for you until you learn to forgive. But when you learn to forgive and let it go, and not only forgive, but want good for those, then your life will change dramatically. Then God will turn to you and say, now I can use you. Now great things can happen in your life because now you've gotten this out of your spirit and out of your heart. Amen? God has great things planned for us. Thank you, brother, so much. Did you have something you wanted to add? Thank you so much, Brother Richard, for this. Amen.
Instead of to them, it's Lord preaching to us.
Yeah. Sometimes the ones that are guilty of it most are the preachers. I always tell people, you're just getting this second hand. God's already Lord, you raked me over the coals about this. I figured that some of y'all had the same problem I had. So if I start preaching about something in particular, you can go, well, now I know what the preacher's been doing this week. Who knows? God asks us all. The pastor, hey listen, I'm accountable. I'm accountable to God for my soul. For my salvation, I got to keep it right. I've got to ask God on a daily basis, forgive me, Lord. And help me to forgive others. Amen? Can I tell you one last thing? If you can't forgive, you cannot be forgiven. I told you the Bible's pretty simple. The gospel of Christ is pretty simple. If you can't forgive, you can't be forgiven. If you're holding something against somebody for your soul, for your salvation, let it go. Let it go. And be glad to get rid of it. Amen? Brother Victor, we ought to be happy to get rid of that thing. You know what? I'm tickled to death. I've actually been to that man's house now, and I've been over this, and I'm like, you know what? You no longer sin, and that anger and that hurt, it no longer has a hold on me. I'm free. And who the Son sets free is what? Free indeed. Free indeed. Amen. Thank you guys for coming tonight. Amen. Come back please tonight. The young people, there'll be puppets here for you. Teenagers. Now listen, if you are a teenager, we need to get around and get out of here probably by 10 or 15 minutes till 7. So we're not walking in there right as they're fixing to have services. So those who want to go to the youth rally, teenagers and up, we'll take you that way. The rest of you, Brother Kyle, who else is going to be helping you, brother? Brother Anthony, and is Brother Kerry helping you or no? But anyways, there's going to be puppets here. It's going to be awesome. It's a great story. I've already heard it.